Globalized country like Iran, which holds major influence in the world, could affect West Asia and even the regions far beyond it. We decode Israel's unending war in Gaza and how IDF is continuing to demolish Gaza building by building despite a ceasefire, worsening the suffering of Palestinians in the Strip. We also uncover how Houthi attacks in the Red Sea have affected major shipping routes and what are the after effects of the Gaza war in West Asia. All this and more, but first, the headlines. Washington is issuing threats. American troops are on the move. IRGC is in alert mode. Tehran is loading missiles. Trump has been briefed. The targets are logged and loaded. The Arab nations, Russia and even Israel are urging Trump to hold off the attack. This is no bluff and Iran is no soft target. Here's our report.
The United States has warned of possible military action. President Donald Trump has been briefed on strike options and potential targets deep inside Iran. Tehran has placed its armed forces on high alert and issued a blunt warning. Any attack will trigger retaliation not just against the United States, but also against neighbors hosting American bases. Arab nations are urging restraint. They fear the fallout. Because this war, if it comes, will not be short. It will not be contained and it will not be simple. The situation could quickly spiral into a firestorm. Iran says it is ready to fight. The real question is whether it can endure a prolonged war with the world's most powerful military. Across air, land, sea, cyberspace and multiple regional fronts. Militarily, Iran is not defenseless, far from it. Iran fields around 580,000 active duty troops and another 200,000 in reserve, one of the largest forces in West Asia. Its military is split between the regular army and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The IRGC, an elite force tasked with regime survival, internal control and regional operations. Iran's real strength lies in missiles and drones. Tehran possesses one of the largest missile arsenals in the region. Ballistic missiles with ranges up to 2,000 kilometers, cruise missiles, precision-guided systems, underground launch sites buried deep in mountains. US bases across West Asia from Iraq to the Gulf are within striking distance. US has about 50,000 soldiers deployed across the region. Israel is within range. Iran also boasts of hypersonic missiles which are extremely difficult to stop. Israel witnessed the fury firsthand in June last year. The famed Iron Dome failed to intercept many projectiles and this is the destruction and Israel knows it. The Israeli attack was relentless. Iranian military sites, weapon depots and even nuclear facilities were badly damaged. But Iran has rebuilt fast. After the 12-day war last year, when US and Israeli strikes hit nuclear sites and wiped out senior commanders including IRGC chief Hossein Salami. Tehran moved quickly. Production lines were restored, missile stockpiles replenished. The Revolutionary Guards now openly claim increased missile reserves and heightened battle readiness. Then there are the drones. The Shahed series, cheap, deadly, battle-tested in Ukraine and Sudan. They are hard to intercept, ideal for overwhelming air defenses. Iran has thousands of them. Add to this the proxy network, battle-hardened Hezbollah, Hamas remnants, the Houthis who have long-range missiles, Then there are militias across Iraq and Syria, controlled, armed and coordinated by the IRGC. Though each of them have been hit, they have been hit very hard by Israel and the United States. Today, they all are a depleted force, but still holds a lot of firepower. Any war risks igniting all fronts at once. But Iran's strength has limits. Iran's military has taken blows. Its proxy shield has been badly damaged. Its top leadership has been targeted, and its economy is dangerously weak. Iran's military has taken a blow. The Iranian rial has collapsed to nearly 1.47 million to the US dollar. Inflation jumped to above 47%. The falling currency has wiped out savings, reduced purchasing power, and created fear that prices will continue rising.
Well, the situation in the bazaar has slightly improved. People come to shop a bit more, but generally the whole cost of living situation for people is weak, especially in shopping. But thankfully the security situation is improving. People come out to shop a bit more.
This economic collapse sparked the protests now rocking the country. A war would push it over the edge. Diplomatically, Iran has backing. But is that enough? Russia and China oppose US aggression. Turkey and Qatar urge calm. Saudis have announced that their territory can't be used by US to launch attacks. But Venezuela has shown how little statements can mean when bombs fall. That is why Tehran is signaling both defiance and dialogue. Iran says it does not seek war, but it is prepared for one. And if miscalculation sets in, regret may come too late. The question is not whether Iran can fight. The question is what price both sides are willing to pay. And right now, neither seems ready to calculate that cost.
Iran, a nation steeped in revolution, reform and resilience, is again at the center of regional turmoil. What started as protests over rising prices swelled into nationwide unrest, reigniting a century of political fault lines from the Shah to the supreme leader. We decode for you how past liberal movements and reformist hope helped set the stage for today's uprising and why a destabilized Iran could reshape West Asia.
To understand today's unrest, we have to start with Iran's history. Before 1979, Iran was ruled by a king, the Shah, who pushed the country towards the west. Cities modernized, women had more freedom, and Iran was allied with the United States. But political dissent was crushed, and many Iranians felt the country lost control of its own future.
This time, the feeling is really strong. Those who took to the streets seem to hope that this time the world will no longer tolerate the Islamic Republic, which has now become a cancer that must be removed. Our hope is that the Iranian people will be able to do it on their own.
In 1979, a revolution overthrew the Shah. Religious leaders promised justice, independence, and dignity. Instead, the power shifted to a strict religious system where elected leaders exist, but ultimate control lies with clerics and the security forces. Since then, Iranians have repeatedly tried to push back peacefully. In the late 1990s and 2000s, reformist leaders promised more freedom and better ties with the world. People voted in large numbers, expectations rose, but each time those openings were shut down by hardliners. Today's protesters are not just about politics, they are about daily life. Sanctions, mismanagement and corruption have crushed the economy. The currency rial has simply collapsed. Prices have soared, jobs are scarce. For many Iranians, life has become a struggle and there is no hope on the horizon. Now, the big question is, what if Iran destabilizes? Iran is not just another country in trouble, it is a regional power with influence far beyond its borders. In Iraq, Syria, Lebanon and Yemen, its axis of powers are weakened, but still have a lot of influence in West Asia. If Tehran loses control, those regions could become even more unstable. This directly affects Israel. Israel sees Iran as its biggest security threat. A weak or chaotic Iran could trigger escalation either through proxy groups or direct confrontation. For Turkey, the fear is spillover. More refugees from West Asian countries, more border instability, more regional war. Ankara wants Iran contained, not collapsing. The Gulf states, Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates also walk a tightrope. They want Iran's regional influence reduced. But they do not want chaos. A collapsed Iran would mean shocks to oil markets, shipping routes disturbed, hurting the commercial interests of the rich Arab nations. Iran's unrest is rooted in history, a society that has been promised change, denied it, and now struggles to survive economically. If Iran becomes unstable, the consequences will not stay inside Iran. West Asia and the world will feel it.
The word ceasefire rings hollow in Gaza. Months after guns were supposed to fall silent and the suffering of Gazans was supposed to end, the sound of explosions, demolitions, and grief continues to echo across the Strip. The United Nations warn that even during this pause in the war, children are still being killed, homes are still being erased, and a population already broken by war is being pushed further into despair. This is not a story of peace after war. This is a story of Israel's unending war in Gaza.
The figures coming out of Gaza show that a ceasefire is only in letters, not spirit. Israel continues to attack Palestinian territories. The United Nations Children's Agency says at least 100 children have been killed in Gaza since the ceasefire began 3 months ago. 60 boys and 40 girls perished. This comes on top of a devastation that has already redefined life in Gaza. Authorities say more than 71,000 people have been killed since the war began in October 2023. The United Nations estimates that nearly 80% of Gaza's buildings have been damaged or destroyed, an entire territory left in ruins. The crisis is being worsened by rainstorms sweeping across Gaza City, flooding tents and collapsing some homes.
Last night, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like this on ordinary days. I've never seen anything like it. We were drowning. Our clothes that we had became wet. We have nothing to wear. We are children. Our 2 mattresses were soaked. Our covers were soaked. Our pillows that we sleep on were soaked. Our tent is filled with water.
And yet, even after the ceasefire, Israel continues to demolish Gaza, building by building. Satellite imagery shows thousands of buildings demolished since the ceasefire, many of them in areas where military operations were supposed to have halted. Whole neighborhoods have been flattened, turning once lived-in streets into vast stretches of rubble and dust. Israel says these demolitions are necessary, aimed at destroying underground tunnels and homes rigged with explosives, part of a broader effort to demilitarize Gaza. Israel says that Hamas continues to target its soldiers. 6 Hamas fighters were spotted by IDF surveillance. IDF says that they were trying to ambush Israeli troops, and after counterfire and additional operations, all 6 were killed.
Allahu Akbar.
But Palestinians living in displacement say what they see is not precision, it's erasure. Their homes, their farmland, their memories wiped out even as the war is supposedly paused. Humanitarian conditions continue to deteriorate. Men in Khan Yunis are using mud and water and stack stones salvaged from bombed-out houses to rebuild parts of their homes. 27-year-old Tariq Al-Farah, who was hoping to get married soon, said mud and debris were his only choice of securing shelter.
We were living in tents, and I've been engaged for about a year and a month. For a while now, I've been trying to gather for a tent, but I haven't been able to buy a tent because of their high prices.
Israel has suspended dozens of international aid agencies from entering Gaza, a move the United Nations has described as outrageous. Aid groups say that even though some supplies are getting in, they fall far short of what is needed in one of the most densely populated and devastated places on Earth.
Withdrawal, the withdrawal of the Israeli army from our areas so we can return to our homes. The second phase, a complete withdrawal and the opening of the crossings.
Meanwhile, diplomatic announcements offer little comfort on the ground. The United States has unveiled a second phase of its plan to end the war. Speaking of transitional administration, disarmament, and reconstruction. But Palestinians remain skeptical.
What's second phase or first phase? They haven't even started the first phase yet. How can they start with the second? They've been bombing since this morning. They targeted Tuffa and Zaytun. Houses are coming down.
But for displaced Palestinians, these promises feel distant and abstract. They say any real progress must begin with a full withdrawal of forces and the reopening of crossings, not with more demolitions and more graves. Bureau Report WION, World is One.
A crisis far from Gaza is sending shockwaves across the region. Israel's only southern port on the Red Sea, the Eilat port, is at a standstill, hit hard by Houthi attacks linked to the Gaza war. At the same time, Yemen is seeing a major political shift, with power struggles in the south and warnings of a new phase of conflict, which could even convert into a full-fledged war. Here's how the Red Sea, Gaza, and Yemen are now deeply connected. Watch our next report to find out.
Israel's strategic southern port of Eilat, once a key gateway to the Red Sea, is now facing what is being called the worst crisis in its history. After more than 2 years of disruption linked to attacks by Yemen's Houthi movement, shipping traffic has all but disappeared. Israeli media report that revenues at the port have collapsed to near zero. Dock workers report to empty berths. No ships, no cargo, no business. A port that once moved hundreds of thousands of vessels and generated millions of dollars a year is now described as almost completely paralyzed. The turning point came in late 2023 when the Houthis seized a vessel linked to Israel and declared a maritime blockade. Missiles and drones followed, targeting Israel and Israeli-linked shipping across the Red Sea. Israel responded with airstrikes inside Yemen, hitting ports, infrastructure, and urban centers. But despite these attacks, the Houthis continues to pose one of the most direct regional threats to Israeli trade routes. The economic damage is severe. Annual revenues that once stood at around $66 million have vanished. Government support has been limited, and now Israeli finance and transport ministries say they will not renew the port's operating concession. The Port Authority is preparing a legal challenge. This was not how Israel envisioned the war. After the October 7, 2023 attacks, officials had hoped Eilat would support northern ports under security pressure. Instead, the Red Sea front collapsed, turning a strategic asset into a liability. Meanwhile, inside Yemen, the political landscape is shifting dramatically. The internationally recognized government says it has taken full control of southern Yemen. This comes after a Riyadh-based delegation of the UAE-backed STC, a powerful separatist force, declared the dissolution of all its political and military structures on Friday. The STC has strongly denied its disbanding, as its leader Aydarius al-Zubayr has fled the country, who is now calling for protests in Yemen. Thousands are rallying in Yemen in support of the STC group. Some held up photos of STC leader Aydarius al-Zubayr.
We categorically reject the dissolution of the Southern Transitional Council. The Southern Transitional Council represents us here. We have come in the hundreds of thousands in response to a call within 24 hours, mobilizing thousands around the Southern Transitional Council.
The message from Yemen's president is clear. Armed groups must disarm, rejoin the state, or face consequences. The Houthis, he says, must choose between negotiations or a new round of confrontation.
Lebanon is on the edge as warnings of instability and even civil war have entered the political discourse. Hezbollah has issued a sharp warning to Beirut, and I quote, "Stop pushing ahead with the disarmament or risk plunging the country into chaos," unquote. The warning comes as Israeli strikes continue in the south of Lebanon and pressure mounts on the government to assert control over all arms of Hezbollah. Here is how the standoff is unfolding.
Tensions are rising in Lebanon after Hezbollah's warning that any attempt by the state to disarm the group across the country could lead to instability and possibly civil war. The warning comes as Lebanon moves to implement a 2024 agreement that ended a devastating war with Israel and committed the state to bring all weapons under government control. Hezbollah, however, insists that the deal applies only to southern Lebanon near the Israeli border and not to the rest of the country. In comments circulated by the group, Hezbollah said, "Extending disarmament north of the Litani River would be a dangerous move that could push Lebanon into chaos." Even as it stressed that the group does not want a clash with the Lebanese army. The Lebanese military says it has taken operational control of the area south of the Litani, a key first step in the plan. The cabinet is now seeking briefings on how disarmament could proceed elsewhere, a move that has put the government on a collision course with Hezbollah. The group has set its own conditions, demanding that Israel withdraw from positions. It still holds in southern Lebanon, stop airstrikes, and release Lebanese detainees before any further talks on disarmament can begin. Meanwhile, Israel says Hezbollah has not been fully disarmed and continues to pose a threat. That claim has been followed by a series of Israeli attacks across southern Lebanon, including airstrikes that Lebanese authorities say have killed civilians and caused heavy damage. Israel says its targets are Hezbollah fighters and weapons sites, violating the ceasefire. Despite the 2024 truce, Israel has kept troops in several southern areas and has carried out repeated strikes, killing hundreds since the agreement was signed. All of this places Lebanon's leaders in a tight spot, caught between international pressure to assert state authority, Hezbollah's warnings of internal unrest, and a region still reeling from the aftershocks of the Gaza war.
From the church to the club, this is a story that feels unusual and unmissable. In Beirut, a city known for its music and nightlife, a Catholic priest is doing something very different. He leads mass during the day and plays electronic music at night. Some call it bold, some call it controversial, but millions are watching. Meet the priest who uses music to spread his message.
In the heart of Beirut, the music is loud, the lights are blinding, and the crowd is moving as one. Behind the DJ booth stands a man few expect to see there, a Catholic priest turned global DJ sensation. Padre Guilherme from northern Portugal has become one of the most unlikely names in electronic music. By day, he leads mass and delivers sermons. By night, he commands dance floors, using beats as his language of faith. For him, electronic music is just another instrument of praise, a way to connect with younger generations and spread a message of peace, respect, and coexistence in a rapidly changing world. What began as a small effort to support local churches has turned into a global movement, with massive crowds and millions following his journey online.
The faith and the music, the religion and the music always were connected, even before Christ. On the Old Testament, it's the psalm asks us to praise the Lord with all instruments. So now we have this new instrument that came, that is electronic music.
Lebanon, home to the largest Christian population in West Asia, is a powerful and symbolic stop, but it was also a controversial one. Religious conservatives objected, saying faith should not share space with nightclubs and alcohol. The show went ahead with restrictions, security, and a clear line between symbolism and sound. Before stepping into the club, the priest stood at a university podium delivering a sermon to a crowd of students and families, a reminder that his mission remains rooted in belief, even when the medium changes. On stage, there was only music. Images of peace and a crowd dancing together, different faiths and backgrounds moving to the same rhythm. A tribute to Lebanon flashed across the screens, met with cheers and waving flags. In a country battered by crisis, division, and regional tensions, Padre Guilherme's message is simple: if people can share a dance floor with mutual respect, they can share a future too.
Thank you for watching the West Asia Post. I am Rhythm Sharma. I will see you next week with a brand new lineup. For major global updates, keep watching Beyond World is One.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening, as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
WION Health Resort is unique, the only one of its kind. Experience the 4 paths of natural wellness: yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy, Each uniquely customized program improves the whole person to make every person whole. Come to WION Health Resort. Make your reservation at WION.com.
Hello, you're watching Race to Power. I'm Shreya Upadhyay. On the show tonight, a look at the apparent joke